Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Talking About the Big Stuff podcast with Michael Cole and Matthew Cravat. I am Michael Cole.
And I am Matthew Cravat.
All right, everybody. For Christmas, we don't want to talk about the big stuff. So this week, we got Alex, our producer, on. You could see him.
Hey, guys.
I'm pointing here, but when I edit it, it won't be here. It'll be here, probably. Yeah, so it's the three of us. Alex is always here, but he's usually silent to you.
Never silent to us, goddammit.
Never.
Yeah, unfortunately, they have to hear my ass all the time, and you all see my handiwork on all of these short form content. So it's a pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Yeah.
One of your paid slaves. I mean interns.
So you get paid twice, but I get paid. What are you complaining?
You mean I pay twice what you pay? Remember, I spend money for this privilege.
That's a good point.
Alex actually
I get paid zero.
More,
you pay my money. So
Alex pays a little more than 3 times as much as you pay.
I have to be on a podcast with Alex.
So tonight is going to be our talking about the small stuff. It's our third talking about the small stuff, but it's Christmas edition. Jingle
so it's
bells,
talking about the stocking stuffers.
I am into a foot fetish mode lately, so let's go ahead.
I'm so proud of myself for knowing a Christmas thing, and he turns it sexual. Yeah. I'm gonna come down your chimney now.
I am going to turn yours. I'm going to use my hand to fold your sock inside out. I didn't know this was a thing. I gave my brother-in-law a tactical stocking last year, so it looks like a regular, like cartoonish stocking that you put over your mantle, but it's got like molly straps and little pockets on it and stuff, and it's the goofiest, most prepper Chad Republican motherfucking thing. But beautiful. He loves it.
So you're in a corporate-ish kind of job. We won't say companies, but is there anything Christmassy going on at work, like gift giving, holiday sharing, kind of thing?
They just finished my office's Secret Santa Friday of this past week, and we did the classic. You get the list, you don't know who it is till the day it happens, and I got yeah, I know. And I got someone who I really respect and I think is wicked cool. She recently had a grandson, so I got her 2 frames that say best grandma ever, and the other one says grandma's brag board, which I thought was fun. And she's going to probably put pictures of her grandson in there, so keeps him on her desk. I thought that was a cool idea.
I respect her as well. It took me a second to think, who would Alex respect at work?
That's a woman, that misogynist.
No, it wasn't even thinking that. I was just like, of the people that are still there.
Right.
What did you get? What did you net out with?
I was actually in Disney when the gift giving happened, so it's going to be on my desk when I go to the office tomorrow.
Hope it's food.
It's food.
I made a meatloaf. Great. It's on the desk.
The green stuff is
damn it! You beat me to it.
It's a meatloaf.
you fucking beat me to it. She wrapped her Jell-O mold.
Delightful. Yeah, we are doing Secret Santa, but like last week, they sent us a link to a website. It's a Secret Santa website. So, so everybody who registered on it, then it could come back, after the registration day is over, and it'll tell you who your person is. And you have the ability to go in and like make a wish list. Like it's linked to like Target.com and Walmart.com and Amazon and all of the sites that it's got links to. So you can make a wish list and make notes about it. So like I put like a collection of hot sauces on mine and then wrote, I'm into hot sauce, so I'm not saying get this collection necessarily. I'm just saying I'm into hot sauces. Please do not get me Melinda's brand. I hate that company and do not want anything from them. But, just a thought. And then I did like some science and like NASA themed socks. And I was like, I love wearing fun socks to work. So, and I love science and I love science fiction.
Cool
so
idea, yeah.
Take any of those ideas, a funny t-shirt, extra large, or any of those extra large, any of those ideas, are fine. Like I'm not looking for what I put on the list. here's just some sample ideas to know about me more. Especially because I've only been in the company for since March, and I don't work closely with people in my group. We all are assigned a brand that we work with, so I don't spend that much time with my actual coworkers, and we work remote. We have 2 days in the office a week, but you pick your own days. So the person who got me may be someone who I never overlap with, even in the office, and we've only met once or twice. And the woman that I got, who I don't know that well, I know she's into Gen X stuff and into science fiction and stuff, but she had put these really like super comfortable slippers to wear around the house in a wish list, and then something random like Tupperware, like a glass version of Tupperware. I'm like, I'm not buying you like
Pyrex,
similar kind of thing, yeah, with like
that's expensive shit
with snap-on covers. I'm like, I'm buying like 2 containers or something. Like, what's the use of that?
Yeah.
Why would I buy kitchen containers for work? That seems so weird as a work gift. But maybe she did it as a joke. But I, instead of getting her the like isotoner slippers she wanted, I got her slippers that look like sparkling pink Chuck Taylor, high top sneakers that are like look like they're foam and they're really soft inside and stuff. So that's why I give her this cool like 80s looking sneakers.
I like that.
That are still what she asked for in the realm of.
So really,
and like I think it's gonna be a secret, right? So she won't even know it's me that got it. I'll have my wife write her name on the bag or on the wrapping when I got to wrap it after the call, and so it won't even be clear that it came from me.
Really, Melinda's hot sauce?
Oh, you don't know the Melinda story?
No, I'm just reading it now.
No, yeah.
Marie Sharp.
Yeah, Melinda was the U.S. agent for Marie Sharp out of Belize, and she basically then stole the recipes and started her own company with the recipes. I mean, and she's branched out and has a lot more stuff now, but a lot of it's still not even that original. It's like her sriracha, her Polynesian sauce.
Hey.
Like, well, yeah, you didn't make that up.
They shouldn't kill the CEO.
Not yet. Just stole her livelihood by taking away the U.S. market.
It's a me, Luigi.
Just pretty much took away the U.S. market from this small company that has limited distribution in the U.S. and Melinda's is in every grocery store now.
Yeah.
It's actually in the office, in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, it's because they provide that we've gotten big ass samples from them before. I gave Matthew one of the samples because I was like, we're never going to use this at one point, like a year ago.
I was like, I guess I got Melinda's to try now because I wasn't going to buy it. I did buy a complete pack of like 8 or 9 different Marie Sharps, which I haven't even opened yet. I have so many hot sauces I can get to them, but I did buy the Marie Sharps. Like even if I end up throwing it away because it gets too old, I wanted to give her money.
So I got a Patreon story for you. Maybe I'll leave this in. Who the fuck knows?
What's the best visit to a sex shop story that you have?
Oh, I got a good one.
Oh,
have I told you this one before? Is that why you're asking? Or
no. I have one that just popped in my head. Okay. I have 2 that I have that are good stories, but one that popped in my head when you were telling you about giving a gift because it relates.
I have 2. So my friend. So like I said, my friends and I would go when one would turn 18, but like I would go with the next one that turned 18, then we would go with the third one who turned 18, and so on. And then eventually it became, whenever, when we would come back from college, oh, you got a new girlfriend? We're going to bring your girlfriend out to the Adam and Eve store with us or what. It wasn't Adam and Eve, but you know what I'm saying. So the first funny story is when my friend Pat and my friend at the time, Amy, turned 18 the same weekend. They were the youngest of our group. And this was the end of senior year of high school. Like May, they were both May birthdays. So we go to the sex store. There's like 9 of us that go to the sex store. And this was back in the day when you could rent videos. And we go there, and a kid that I don't like from high school is there returning a DVD, and he goes, "Mike Cole, you creepy bastard, I should have known I'd see you here." And I'm like, I brought my 9 friends. We're doing something social. You're returning porn. You psycho. And then a few years later, he hit on my sister. He went on Facebook and was like, "We should hang out sometime." And she's like, "I don't know you." So that's the first story. The second story is, fast forward 5 or 6 years, we're a big group. We're with I wasn't with Sarah yet, but we're with some of our significant others, and we've already one significant other has already come with us before. So the newest significant other, Pat's ex-girlfriend, was going to come with us, and so it's like, again,
do you guys all time it at the same exact time?
Yeah, we do.
I know, right?
7 or 8 of us. We go to the store, and we're not really realizing that she's not super comfortable because people who go to to a sex store together aren't necessarily like the most socially aware people, right? So we're walking around, and for us it's largely a big joke. There's like, we laugh at the like ridiculous like butt plug that looks like a traffic cone, and there's all these like, and I'm not joking. It's called the Great American Challenge. You can Google it.
Yeah, no, it's a thing.
And
It's like under the pillow.
And my friend's boyfriend at the time picks up the gallon-sized KY and says, "Look, honey, the Weekender." And then the other friend's girlfriend, the one that is new to the group, she sprints out and goes and sits in the car. We all go to like see if she's okay, and she's bawling her eyes out. And we're like, "What?" She's like, "I was not comfortable in there." So that's our other one, is like the big gallon of it. Yeah. So
I think I know your friend because I took her to a sex store. So at one point I worked in a place where there was this woman I worked with who was very conservative and very, so I'll tell you, you'll see how conservative in a moment. But another girl who worked in the same group who was wide open, she was bisexual, slept casual sex all the time, was sleeping with 3 different deputies in the town that she lived in, had like an adversarial thing with her friend who slept with firefighters. Like she was into cops, she was into firefighters, married guys and whatever. And this, so the one who's more of a libertine is always trying to get the more conservative one to get hotter and sexier, like trying to talk her into doing stuff and being more out there. And she's a married woman, she has a kid, and she finally talks her into getting a sex toy, so getting a dildo or a vibrator or whatever. And so this girl comes to me and she's like, "Matthew, will you take me to a place to get it? Because I'm not going with her because she'll be crazy and I don't want her to know what I'm getting."
Oh, okay.
And I trust you a little more. And I was a couple years older than them, and not a lot, but just a couple. And I was like, sure. So we went to this sex shop in Durham, not far from where we worked. And she is averting her eyes everywhere, right? She's like, and I go like into this gift card, greeting card section, and there's this greeting card.
Greeting card section.
And there's a mail on that we open up. He's like, "Here's your gift," and he's like super well hung. And I show her to her, and she screams like a yelp and covers her eyes and looks away. I'm like, "What?" She goes, "What? I've never seen one of those before." I'm like, "You've been married twice. You're on your second husband, and you have a kid." She goes, "But we don't keep the lights on."
Oh my god!
So
boy!
I help her pick a toy that looks in no way natural. Like a purple. Just
the Great American Challenge is purple, by the way. I'm trying to find.
But this was like,
I knew you were looking it up. Too.
I am looking it up.
This is maybe a 6-inch long one, a thinner diameter. Nothing. That's a good starter kit, right? And just like turn the base and it vibrates, kind of thing. We go to check out, and there's a very attractive woman who works there, very like piercings and tattoos, but very attractive. And she goes, "Y'all want batteries with this?" And my friend looks at me like she's so embarrassed. She looks at me. And at work, I was the techie guy, and I had every kind of battery in my office. And I was like, "You know what? We got batteries in the office. I'll give you the batteries you need. We don't need batteries." She goes, "Okay, well, I'm just going to pop some in to test it for you real fast." And my friend goes, "You're going to use it? You're going to use it?" She's like, "I'm going to make sure it turns on."
Let me give it a test drive.
It was so
Don't worry, I got
funny.
cleaner.
It was. That's what she thought.
Only be a minute.
To make sure it makes you come. Otherwise, what's the use of buying it?
Nah, this one's not for you, honey.
It was super fun.
That's gross as fuck, but hilarious.
It's unfortunate there are people who are that kind of closed off in their lifestyles or even in their imagination, because sex is one of the coolest damn things that 2 people can do.
Yeah, it's funny because the one who is more liberal that way would come to my comedy shows all the time because she had a thing for one of the women in my group. I had a girl who was very Marilyn Monroe-esque, and my friend was like, I want to be with her. And she like go with a date and try to get her date. We should hit on her. And her date's like, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm not in touch with her." She goes, "No, we should," like trying to get like idiot. I'm saying we should try to get her to do a threesome. And she's saying to me, she goes, "Do you think she would be into meeting me? Because you tell they call me the mouth of the South. I just don't stop until she's satisfied."
Oh boy! All right.
She was a good friend.
What happened?
Just moved on in life. She got a job
Oh, okay.
somewhere else. I got a job another place, and then whatever. We really didn't have enough in common other than the conversations were amazing to really sustain a long-term friendship.
That's why I keep Mike around.
And
for now.
because I'm the mouth of the South.
So,
I just want to tell you a real quick joke. So,
is it about the Great American Challenge?
no, but it's close. So I worked in a Verizon, and there's this guy who is 3 inches taller than me and like buff.
Where's this going?
Big black guy,
3 inches taller. Got it.
taller
Okay.
than me, and black guy. You keep in mind, we're all like 24, 25 when we're all working there, and somebody asks him one, and he was hilarious, but he was like just a wild, like he would make the most ridiculous jokes. And one night, someone was like asking him, they're like, "Is it true what they say? Are black guys hung?" And he goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Well, how big are you?" And I went, "About that big." And everyone in the conversation was like, "What?" I highly recommend using that sometime.
But I like that.
That's like the more polite way of doing the joke when people ask how old my kids are. And I'm like, let's see. About that high, so.
However old this is tall. For me, I had a bunch of much more mature, like adult age friends. I was always
I was
spending
8,
time with
but there's
them.
these 2 40-year-old guys who loved hanging out with me.
Fuck off.
They tried the
Priscilla
Great
McCalls.
American Challenge on me.
And they were about that big. But back then it was that.
Yeah, back then my face was smaller. So
Yeah, about that big. It was amazing for me.
you guys ever see the movie Funny People?
I love that we're just going to move on and Alex's story is told.
Oh yeah.
Right, it's done. You guys did it for me. That was great.
We were accurate in our assumptions, and it's good.
Anyway, you gonna finish your story, Alex?
Yeah.
Are you going to
So,
finish?
yeah. Oh my fuck. So I had.
I may not be able to after I take these medicines. So.
Or it may just take you a little longer.
One of the many trips I had to the adult store that was in Connecticut, where I was living at the time, it was the first time that I found the latex body paint. And that stuff is fantastic amounts of fun. And the group of friends I was hanging out with I was probably in my 20s and he was probably in his 40s, and he very fancied the girl I was with at the time. And he's like, I want to paint her. And I'm like one of your French girls? Like, what are we talking about? He goes, no. And then he goes over because we were at the store when he was talking about it. And he goes over in a section that has all the latex, like suits and clothing. And he finds like, it really is like a tub, like a short squat
Did they have
tub.
plaid?
It's a lot of do they have plaid. So he gets out, I remember it was like neon blue and like really bright green, and he goes right up to her and he's like, hey, I want to paint you with this. And she's like, she looks at me, Alex, he's weird, like, can we? I was like, no, it's all right. So I straight up probably endangered her and myself by just going over to this dude's friend's house, and we painted her with latex in the basement.
I like
And
the fact that you convinced her it's okay for her to be painted.
oh yeah, she looked over. She's like, "Honey, this is fucking weird." I'm like, "Hey, man."
I like that you and your friend painted your girlfriend.
No, it was so.
It's the
my
weirdest
anxiety...
train I've ever heard about. But okay.
Hey, dude, it was fucking weird. I mean it.
Oh
and then this was the same guy that had sex with my mom.
So Matthew, you're going to be doing Chinese food and dim sum in Myrtle Beach for Christmas.
Yeah, so I couldn't find a good dim sum place on anywhere that I Googled or Yelped. There's a couple places that had dumplings here and there, but nothing that was dim sum.
Not quite the same.
And since the pandemic, we started getting takeout dim sum rather than the traditional Chinese food of my people. And and so I ordered on Black Friday from Amazon a 3-layer steamer insert to the Instant Pot.
Nice.
And so I'm going to go, I might go local here to H Mart, or maybe I'll just trust that there'll be good stuff at the Asian markets there. but just get frozen dim sum items, and we'll probably still get Chinese food on Christmas Day, but supplement
would.
it with frozen dim
Another
sum that I
culture.
will cook in the Instant Pot.
Nice.
And of course watch Doctor Who, because that's what you do on
No, that's an excellent
Christmas
choice.
Day.
Speaking of dumplings, so we made raviolis on Sunday, homemade raviolis.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
Yeah. And while we were making them, Logan goes, "These are basically just the same thing as dumplings." And I was like, "Yeah, they fucking are. You're right."
You're right.
I was like,
I remember that. I remember that. We have an exit interview about that. If you actually go look for it, we do. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we have an exit
Excellent.
interview episode about that.
You had your stuff pre-scripted for your discussions with your son.
Yep.
I quit over that, man.
Yeah. We'll be going to Massachusetts. Well, I should say the plan right now is that we'll be going to Massachusetts. If for some reason we were to win the lottery, Sarah and I are pushing hard to do almost anything else.
Well, maybe you're ill and you can't go.
No. She doesn't want to stay here, but she does want to go. Like, I think.
It's like a bar at closing time.
Yeah,
you want to go home, but you can't stay here.
She wants Hawaii. I would go for literally anywhere warmer. Especially like last week, it was like Massachusetts cold down here, which is not fun.
Oh, dude, it was just as bad in fucking Florida, dude. Oh,
I wish it hadn't gotten so damn warm this week. Because I got a new refrigerator and I had to pack everything into, packs of coolers with ice. If it has been cold as it was last week, I could just put everything on my back, screened in, lockable door porch, and everything would have been fine overnight or just during the day while the refrigerator was cooling. Yeah. Instead, we had to pack everything in with ice packs.
Looks like a prepper.
Yep. My day we were called preppies.
Is that what all the pink polos were for?
Let's talk about
that was actually my attempt at an obscure Star Trek joke, because they were like what we called Trekkies back in the day get offended by that now, and they say Trekkers because they don't want to be Trekkies. Trekkies wear plastic ears. Trekkers just into the lore. They try.
What? So there's really a differentiation there.
Yes. Oh yes. So that's what I was trying to play with the preppies and preppers. What am I saying? I was just making a joke for me. Sometimes they're for me.
Sometimes it's for me.
I have a friend who I don't think he still is, but he was a prepper. Like, he had a bunch of shit in his basement, and he was like, and I used to say to him, like, do you want to live through an apocalypse?
You're really looking like you're enjoying this.
And he was like, yeah, you got, and I'm like, no, like, you could just give up and die, right? And he was like, what?
Like, if there were a zombie apocalypse, you kill yourself. You don't wait to be eaten alive by zombies.
Yeah. And like I don't want to, if there's an apocalypse and my family all dies, like, I don't want to keep going. Also, like, I don't.
What if you fall in love with a mannequin?
I've seen that show. I like that show. I don't thrive in a world where
I don't thrive with a mannequin.
I don't thrive in a world where there isn't an apocalypse going on. I can only imagine how bad my life gets.
So you need drama.
But imagine how many less people you'd have to deal with.
Oh. I wouldn't be here. I can't run for shit. They'd catch me.
I saw a comedian the other day, a clip of a comedian saying, if I broke my neck and was stuck in a bed with nothing to do but watch TV and maybe, my life wouldn't substantially change from what I want it to be.
Yeah.
I had a friend who's a semi-prepper. And, if you live out on a farm out somewhere, it makes sense to have supplies for snowstorms, emergencies. And like during COVID, this guy was saying, see, I'm right. I'm like, dude, I didn't prep and I got through to stay home fine.
Just fine. Right.
Like, you were eating all your old canned stuff and I was ordering Panera. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah. The one thing that prepping might have helped, and I don't know that any prepper did this, is toilet paper.
I prepped toilet paper.
Yeah.
Before it was a thing. Right in the beginning, in the beginning of the pandemic, when it was really in China more than anywhere else, before it was here, right? I was like, where do paper goods come from? Like what, like things from China might be hard to get if it gets as bad as it looks like it is. And we're at Costco and toilet paper was on sale, and we bought like 2 big things of toilet paper. When we buy one for a month, I bought 2 of them or whatever at the time, saying just in case the price goes up because it's hard to get from China. And I think as it turns out, most toilet paper is domestic, so it's not something that would have gone up in price. But when toilet paper became hard to get because everybody was shitting at home instead of shitting in the office,
Yeah.
and it's all the mega size rolls they make for the office were useless at home. I that first wave of people being terrified, we were cool.
Nice. We
'Cause
used
I
the 3
pressed-
seashells. So
How do you use the 3 seashells?
I would prefer not to talk about that.
Yeah. We don't talk about that.
No, actually, we
Motherfucker, cocksucker, piece of shit.
we got dangerously low. I'm gonna show Logan that movie. We got dangerously low on toilet paper and could not find any. And I was talking to my dad on the phone one day.
Should
And
call me, man.
And I was like, Dad, there's no toilet paper to be found. And my dad was working at a bank, and my dad goes to like BJ's and wholesale club and gets, and so like my dad had a shitload.
I in some ways prefer BJ's Wholesale Club over Costco. I belong to both, and BJ's never has the giant lines. Is never you can just order on your app and just walk in and pay for it. And
that's because it's not big down here in Massachusetts. BJ's is it's BJ's instead of Costco's, really,
because BJ's was here before Costco and it was huge, and then when the Costco opened, it kind of knocked BJ's.
Yeah,
that's not as because BJ's is not as good in general, but
yeah,
it's as good in like 20 different ways.
Yeah, but Costco's got a great CEO. But so my dad had like a bunch, and he was like, "I'm gonna ship you a box." So he shipped like a massive box. He like boxed up so that it wouldn't be clear it was toilet paper.
Yeah.
So that nobody at the post office would steal it.
Right.
Had I known you were having shit issues, I had because whenever it's like every once in a while, Amazon would have it on the front page that they have toilet paper in stock, and Matthew would buy not outrageous amounts. Like she bought like a 6-pack or 12-pack, whatever size it was. She bought one every time it came up. So like we never got to a point where we were in danger. Like we were to refill. Like we never went crazy and stockpiled. But since we started ahead of the game, we did okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
When Sarah and I started dating, Sarah doesn't like. I'm used to buying certain things in bulk, and Sarah was not. And she would buy like very.
She bought you in bulk.
I was much smaller back then, but thank you.
Okay.
I did get weighed 3 hours ago at the doctor's, and I'm not happy. So let's not.
I met your cock. It's about.
Okay. Anyway, so she was not used to buying in bulk at all when we started dating, and like. When I say buying in bulk, I'm not buying like the 47 roll pack, but I would buy like, of toilet paper.
The one they sell at BJ's.
Or whatever. And she'd be like, "Why do you need so much toilet paper?" And I'd be like, "Why don't you need,
Why don't you?
Like what, at what point in our lives do we give up on toilet paper? Like when you start buying the fewer rolls of toilet paper you buy, the closer to death you must assume you are. You're like, I don't want to overbuy.
Oh.
And I remember there was a comedian who was like, "Why do they sell individual rolls of toilet paper? Like that person, if someone buys an individual roll of toilet paper, they need to be on suicide watch."
This individual clearly does not plan to be with us much longer. There's a chance he's going to be with us based on that size a week. We should probably go talk to him.
I need a roll.
He didn't even get the big roll. We got like the.
And can you buy me a roll while you're at the store?
Yeah.
Can I have a? Well, it's almost like buying 2 batteries for the remote, like a pair of batteries.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you plan to be around?
Yeah.
Mike, I'm gonna try to use that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who buys one of anything?
I mean, certain things like just doesn't make any sense. It means like what is your life? My mom one time accidentally bought 1-ply toilet paper at BJ's, and it was the massive pack of them.
Oh.
It lasted us over a year. We could not. We could not. I would like stretch out an arm's length and then fold it, and so I had like a 2-ply, and it would still last so fucking long.
Yeah, that's like I love the fact that they have extra strong, but I want extra soft, baby. This is my tuchus we're talking about.
Yeah.
I want the ultra soft, the blue stuff, man.
I know that some people have septic issues and stuff, and they need 1-ply. I don't think life's worth living if you have to use 1-ply. I think if you have to use, like
If you're going to fold it anyway, you're going to still use the same amount as if you use 2-ply.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, and I just always
That's
We're-
why
we're all
use,
fold
I'm
people.
I'm
We're
hypogenic.
not crumble.
I am. Bring a spoon.
I've gotten into the
Spatula.
toilet paper
Rubber
argument with some
spatula.
people because Sarah's best friends both use 1-ply, and I think it's because of septic problems. But I used to just ignore that part of the equation and just be
I
like,
don't care if they have sepsis. You don't use 1-ply.
Sepsis.
They would like they buy 1-ply, and I always say like life's too short to use 1-ply, and they're like, well, I have to use 1-ply, and I'm like, well, you don't have to. You could barehand it, which is basically what you're doing. Like you may as well just barehand it and wash up afterwards because
Get a spoon and just smear it out, clean it up.
It's like putting grout down, but it's in reverse.
Or masking tape. Just put it on and rip it up.
Oh.
I actually Sarah used to get so like
It is like painting grout.
See, Mike, this is when I hate the fact that you can't visualize things. Because
Like-
Alex is enjoying that visual, and you are not getting the visual.
Just perfectly straight lines. Here, could you cut in the living room for me,
Clean and
honey?
shiny.
Oh, and could you tape around my ass?
Why do you have a straight line that looks like a baby's butt? What is that? And then hair all around it. But that straight line is just pink and smooth.
for
And very clean, might I say. Very clean.
For about a year or so, I told Sarah, and I was serious about this, that I wanted to start getting my butt crack waxed. And I wanted to do it because it just felt like it would be easier cleanup. Like, sometimes when you have a hairy butt, you're wiping too long.
Oh, I thought you meant like wax, like turtle wax, so it would just slide off.
So we like
get out the orbital buffer.
I did.
Brain X works really well. I'm getting anus X.
I did some research as to where I could get that done, and the only place I could get it done is the same place.
Here, baby.
It's the same place that Sarah does her eyebrows. And she's like, "You are not fucking going to my eyebrow girl to get your ass crack waxed." And I'm like, "Come on!" And she goes, "They're gonna think it's for sex purposes." I'm like, "Arguably, that is less disgusting than the real reason I want it."
I can be clean.
But they approve of it for sex purposes because they do it.
Yeah.
They're just going to look at her and know that it's what she's into.
My wife likes to peg me. No,
I was just saying, you're the one with the clean booty hole.
Yeah.
I don't like to floss at the same time, is what I'm saying.
It's the squeaky clean butthole.
Gets the worm.
I don't want worms.
The worms are back.
Masking tape.
Duct tape will work too.
Oh no. Plastic wrap. Just gotta.
Actually, plastic wrap. Have you found like a plastic wrap that like form fitted to your ass crack, but just had just the hole, and then you could poop through
Press
it,
and seal.
and then you just like peel it off, give it a quick wipe, and then put the new one in for the next time.
Put the new one in for the next time. So
Yeah.
you're preparing ahead of time, so you're gonna walk around with press and seal on your balloon knot all day.
It's like when you have a slow cooker. You don't need a liner, but the cleanup is so much faster if you have one.
Oh shit!
Yes,
Oh, my
exactly. That's the point.
fuck. Good lord! Oh god! No, dear, I'm fine.
And you can see our balloon knots
Oh
if
boy!
you subscribe
If you're
to $10
patron.
patrons. Actually, patron challenge. If we hit let's set a goal, and we'll all go get our ass cracks waxed.
Let's not set that goal.
Alex and I will go get our ass.
I'm not your
guys-
producer. Not me anymore.
If we
what
make-
is he going to produce?
If we get to $500 a month on Patreon, we will go get our ass cracks waxed.
Eyebrows. Oh,
Alex and I will happily drive Mike down to the ass waxer.
correct.
And
Which
wait in the
happens to be
waiting
the
room.
same person who does
I
his
mean-
wife's
And
eyebrows.
they'll
Someone's gotta
record
hold
my
the
screaming
camera.
from the waiting room.
Someone's got to hold the camera, and I nominate the producer because that's a tech job.
Yeah.
Someone's got to narrate, and I'll do that. So
From
I'm
my cozy
surprised
living
with the
room.
pimple on his.
So we do it the way we used to do it in the fraternity house. We put porn movies on and turn off the volume, and people would stand at the front and narrate. They would do the sound effects and the narration of the porn movie we were watching. So
Okay,
lots of
I one time leaving the porn shop. One time I was leaving the porn shop with some college friends, and we were
I
real
was 32.
rowdy.
They were my college friends.
We were real rowdy in the car, and I was like, "Don't you guys want to see the DVD extras on a porn movie, like director's commentary? In this scene, she's gonna suck it as hard as she can."
The whole thing.
And I just started doing like the worst impression of the crocodile hunter and being like, "Look at how she deep throats so far."
This is our Christmas episode.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
we're jingling our balls.
present
We
to
hope
you.
all of you get fantastic gifts, like the Great American Challenge.
Jingle bells.
And if you actually
My
check
balls
this
smell.
if this episode is good enough, Spotify might be able to like knock down that other episode. You'll only have 1 week from the time this airs, roughly,
Yeah.
or maybe less.
To just leave it on repeat.
Yeah, this could be the greatest episode. This could be the
It could be the greatest.
Welcome to the world's greatest podcast.
world's best podcast.
Welcome to the world's best podcast, where
That's
we
this one.
shave our anuses.
No, shave.
No, just Mike does.
Waxing.
Where we shave Mike's anus.
That's a different challenge. That's
a different.
That's the 750 goal.
I am not going to lather it this time. I'll let someone else. do it.
$1,000 you get to wax
No,
me.
this
$750.
time, Alex, this time you can buy the lather.
Oh, I've been promoted.
No, you're still going to use it, but you don't have to make it up.
You're still going to use it. We'll just use the patron funds for it.
Sarah comes home from work early, and I've just got like my ankles above my head, and you two are just like
Why do you keep
staring
sliding
at my...
off? Why do you keep sliding off your chair?
Oh my
no
god!
friction, honey. There's no friction.
There's no friction.
We took the kids, so my two nephews and Logan to.
Speaking of that, we took the kids and my nephews.
Where are we going?
You'll see in a second. We took them to the Boston Science Museum.
I hope
And
there's baboon butts coming
There's
up.
a room
You should
full of
hope.
planets, and they're all proportional in
It's a very
size.
big room.
Proportional in size and distance as they would be. They're to scale, but like they're separate.
So they're in an orbit around Uranus?
So Logan goes over and finds Uranus, and like slides his hand over and goes, "I'm wiping Uranus." And then he goes, "I bet you could fit Mars in Uranus." And I said, "But Jupiter would destroy Uranus."
And that young man is now Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And that young
ladies and
man
gentlemen,
is...
that was a Boogie in Your Butt reference. Eddie Murphy had a great novelty song in the early days called Boogie in Your Butt, where the main protagonist narrator put things in his butt for money.
Oh.
Pre-OnlyFans.
Boogie in your butt. Let's see. Put a big tree in your butt. I said, put me in your butt.
In your butt. Okay.
When you talk about it, feels real good when you talk about your butt. It was a great song. Look it up after the thing. Eddie Murphy, Boogie in Your Butt.
It does not sound like a great song.
Oh, it's
It
great.
does not sound like a great song.
It is better than Party All the Time, his like serious song that he recorded a couple of years later.
Yeah.
Party all the time.
Yeah.
Party all
Boogie in Your
the
Butt's much
time.
better.
Boogie
And
in
it
Your
has
Butt.
one of my favorite Eddie Murphy lines of all time in it. The guy's like, "What do you want to put stuff in people's butts?" I mean, I'd rather be playing golf, to be perfectly honest. I think that is the greatest response ever.
Nice.
What's this? $100? Step aside. Put a little tiny man in your butt. Put a tin can in your butt. It's a great
Oh.
song. It's really good.
The Boogie in Your Butt was released 1 year before my birthday.
Well, there you go. Literal birthday, I guess.
Yeah, literal.
And I was listening to it and singing it because I'm an old fart
Oh, listen. In your butt?
in your butt.
I
Got
just
a
like,
fart in your
in
butt.
your
I
butt.
say, gonna tear it apart in your butt. I say, gonna break your heart when I talk about your butt.
we're gonna party all the time. Party all the time.
I don't know if any of this is even usable.
It all is usable.
Just beep a lot of words.
Right.
All right. No, I meant because
mean,
of copyright.
We're gonna get content
Oh,
matched with my
I
singing.
did not get any of the words right except for in your butt. Like everything else was. I mean, maybe I got one or two, but I did not get a whole lyric right. Trust me.
What's great is like a lot of my family members will be like, what's your podcast about?" And I will only remember the episode
Listen to the Christmas episode
that is currently up. So like when I saw my grandfather, we had just done the death penalty episode. Great episode to have a nice little conversation about, and like in not it wasn't particularly political in like any ways that were upsetting, and so it was like perfect. When I see people at Christmas and they're like, "What's your like the thing that's gonna be present in my mind is I'm gonna be like, we talked about waxing my ass, we talked about porn shops, we talked about putting things in our butts."
The Great American Challenge.
I think you're safe because we're going to do another record next week. You have a buffer
Hot
zone.
sauce.
You've got a buffer episode.
Good. Yeah. Hot sauce brands.
So as we say, though, what's
Secret
always
Santa
fun for me is, I don't listen to these episodes after we record them. And, Alex, you do because you're breaking up into clips. Mike does because he's doing the full edit and which edit is the patron and which is the mainstream. I forget what we talk about. And then it comes out a week later, and my friends listen to it a week or two after that.
And then tell you, you're like,
so I get random texts responding to things I said. And now I realize I have to ask Mike because I realize he remembers what we actually said. So here's text I got yesterday. I forgot how much I love a buttered Kaiser roll until you mentioned it. I guess I did. I do love a buttered Kaiser roll. Especially like in New York, it's a typical breakfast.
Yeah.
You changed my mind with how I should refer to a fetus and to gender from the latest episode. Okay, glad I did. And then my favorite, because this one I kind of do remember mentioning, he said the Smurfs are Belgian, not German. So I'd like to apologize to everybody. Smurfs are Belgian. I accidentally said they were German. I was wrong. I was just, no excuses. I was just wrong about that. Sorry for misnationalizing them.
Well, I mean, they're Frenchy Germans.
I got a friend who's Belgian. I don't think he'd like that.
So they're Germany French people?
My friend's name is spelled Wouter. How would you think that's pronounced?
Wouter? Walter.
Mm-hmm. Walter would be the English version of it.
Wasser?
No, so
Wasser, Wouter?
Yeah, so it's very close to actually what Mike said. Close to it's like Wada, like a Boston or Brooklyn kind of pronunciation of water. Wada. Okay. So more or less. I mean, I'm not probably getting it 100% right, but it's real similar to that. But in German, it's Wouter, right? And I think Dutch and like those things, like not in Belgium though. But my friend who's Belgium that's his name, and all of our French colleagues, my last company was French, called him Wouter all the time because that's how they assumed it should be pronounced. Like it's not how they would do it in French, but it's what they used to Germans name that. So they used to, they capitulate, so they do it the way the Germans want. So it's so funny that he can't get the French people to pronounce his name right because they're trying to pronounce it what they think is right and not listening to him when he says it's not that.
Yeah.
Call him Leau, Leau. That is water in French.
Nice. Yeah, because I did a thing where in some video or some YouTube thing or maybe one of my cooking channel things, I think I said it's like water, like my friend, hey, water, my friend water in Belgium.
Water.
And when he listened to it, he sent me a WhatsApp saying that's the closest anyone's come to pronouncing my name right in a long time.
And it's the American.
And I was doing a joke, doing a Brooklyn accent.
Look, I mean, Mike and I have enough coworkers that have interesting or difficult to spell or pronounce names. Oh boy, and actually one of them was Dutch, which made it even funnier because the Dutch attitude is just so direct, so dry. So what? This is my favorite thing. Why would you do this? It sounds horrible.
Alex,
why would you do this?
Are you looking
Why would you put that in my butt?
Alex, are you looking at porn? Fuck, man. In a room full of women, a room with women in it too. Alex, your face is red. Are you looking at porn? I was like, wait, what? No, I'm not.
Just thinking about porn.
Dude, one of the visitors was super cute, so that might have been
back then.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the one I'm thinking of,
she's recently had a second grandchild.
No. Well, she's not attractive. But
also, the person that had a grandchild is younger than Alex.
This is by a
She's
little
old-
bit.
She's 6 months older than me. She's 6 months younger than Alex. So like she's
Yeah.
so she's not like an old lady.
It reminds me of
It's not like
I worked with a girl once, and it was her birthday, and she was turning 20, and she said it was just her mom's birthday, and her mom had just turned 35.
Yeah.
All right.
I worked with a girl.
All right.
I think I've told this story on the podcast before, but I worked with a girl when I was at Verizon. She was 3 weeks younger than me, and not at Verizon, at Home Depot. I turned 22 the month that I worked with, a month after I worked with her or something like that. So she was 21-ish, 21 and a half, something like that. She had a kid when she was 12 and a kid when she was 14. And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she's like, "I'm halfway done." And I'm like, "That's not how that works." But I think about her. I can't remember her last name, or I would look her up on Facebook. I think about her all the time, and I think like she's a 40-year-old woman who has a 28-year-old and a 26-year-old right now. And knowing what I know about Denver, she probably has a 5-year-old grandchild. Best case scenario. Like it's crazy to me. I'm not like, I get that, people have kids young, like 16, 17, 18, but 12 was insane. So like there's a good chance she has like close to a 10-year-old grandkid and she's 40 years old. That's fucking nuts.
So you're trying to say Denver fucks?
Everybody that I knew that grew up in Denver when I lived there, everyone I knew had a child before they turned 18. That is not an exaggeration. Every single human being that I knew who grew up in Colorado that had a kid before 18. So Denver fucks. Although that was all
has not much else to do.
That was pre-legalization, which is what I was just about to say, Matthew. So like, from what I understand, property values have gone up. I think they're using a lot of the marijuana income and revenue to focus on schools. So like they may literally like have turned shit around. I don't know all the stats on stuff, but when I was there, it had just been decriminalized, and it was like one of the first places in the country to decriminalize, but people were still boredom fucking like crazy.
Boredom fucking. Okay. I did that, and I didn't need to live in Denver, but I mean, maybe I would do more so if I lived in the Great Mountain State.
It's either it's your options are drinking, meth, or fucking.
And you can do all three at the same time, so why not?
You can, or in the '90s, working at who was it? New Belgium Brewing in Fort Collins.
To be fair, if you were doing all three at the same time, I feel like the pregnancy rate wouldn't be as high.
Because there'd be
the birth rate. Sorry.
You mean birth rate or pregnancy? Oh boy. Yeah, I thought you were going to go dark with that, and you definitely did. Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up because I'm hungry.
But it'd be nice because it's easier to
wait. If they wrapped it up, there wouldn't be as many babies.
It'd be easy to knit sweaters though because you don't have to worry about sleeves. Okay.
What am I going to knit an Afghan?
Matthew, by the way, Matthew, did you listen? You're going to listen to the WTF episode?
Yeah, I've got downloaded. Yeah.
Yeah, and did you ever watch the show New Girl?
No, I guess in a clip or something.
There's a little piece in there that I was like, "Holy fuck!" about that. Never mind though.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap it up. We can each take a piece.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother talking about it if you're watching this on YouTube because none of this is making it to YouTube.
No, I'm gonna. You know how I do when I get editing.
You know how I do. You know how I do. I'm gonna edit this shit up.
I'm gonna cut
2 minutes, but I'm gonna edit it.
I'm gonna cut every bad thing that I say, and I leave every bad thing you guys say.
So anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube and for some ungodly reason you're enjoying it, hit the like. If you're hating it, make comments below how much you hate us and what terrible people we are. We're not afraid. Go ahead, make your comments. Go ahead and, you know what, subscribe to the channel so you can do it again in the future. Ring the ding, ding, ding bell so that you would be the first to be able to get on, make a comment, go first, and then make comments about the show.
You're going to have to wake up early.
Real early.
Ricochet Rita does those comments early because sometimes I'm up at like 7:30.
She's on the West Coast. No, she's not. She's Coast now. She moved back.
I like get up on and I'll like go online to get the channel the episode started, and I'll be like, she's already done 9 comments.
I'm sure
She's up for an hour and a half.
I bet her kids are on the school bus by 7 a.m. So she's up
Yeah.
at 6. She has 2 young boys. She has to get ready for school.
Yeah.
Ricochet Rita, or as Cherry Butt, as we call her in the old days.
Oh.
Okay, so I will.
You know why? You want to know why, Alex? You want to know why the secret reason we call her Cherry Butt? Because she was drinking her Shirley Temple and she got like a split cherry that looked like a little butt.
Oh.
So much less creepy than I expected.
Yeah.
Almost endearing.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, little Cherry Butt.
Alex, you tell them what they should do with the podcast.
Shove it up your ass.
The podcast platforms.
There's a boogie in your butt.
There's a boogie in your butt. Whatever podcast platform you're on, you
In
need
your
to make
butt.
sure to hit the like. But what we'd actually really like you to is to follow or subscribe to the podcast. Those are free. Get the auto downloads so you can always have the most recent episode.
Even if you delete it, just download it.
I mean, we'd appreciate it either way.
Yeah.
What we really want to hear is ratings. Rate the podcast. Give us an idea of topics and or feedback of what you'd like us to cover, what you don't want to hear us chat about. Because even though you might not always see me, I've always got to make content that you all want to see and want to hear. So we love feedback no matter how you do it, whether you ring the bells, whether you hit the stars. We'd love to have you.
And if you want to give us money, go
Give
on
some money.
Patreon.com/talking about the big stuff. All the best people give us money. And
I mean,
you know, at this point,
You know how
what it
Patreon
is.
works. Go to Patreon, give us money. We'll give you episodes early. We'll give you less edited episodes.
Yeah.
Give us $10 per episode, and you can hear about the time that Mike 12 times in one night.
Yeah.
or you might even get to work here.
No promises on that one.
Pay $10, become employees here.
Yeah. All right. And Matthew, you got any last thought?
My only last thought is I do want to thank Alex for coming out of the closet, so to speak with us, and everyone else for being here to talk about the big stuff, especially in this sharing time of holidays when we did some stocking stuffers to talk about the small stuff.
Yep. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, I get the last word.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. It's just the beginning. If you have thoughts or questions or topics you'd like us to tackle in a future episode, drop us a line on our social media channels. Engage with this video when you are now watching it as a VOD on YouTube. Send us an email. We love hearing from our listeners, bringing us topics, because if you leave it up to the three of us, we're going to eventually be talking about underwater basket weaving. So we would appreciate you guys reaching out a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe to Talking About the Big Stuff on your favorite platform. Give us a 5-star rating. Engage with it. Criticize us. We need to grow and be better, and you're going to help us be there. You're going to help us get to that point. It really helps us more to reach out and also to keep the conversation going. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with more big ideas and more thought-provoking discussions. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep talking about the big stuff.
The preceding podcast has been a Chocolate Diamond Media LLC production. Copyright 2023, all rights reserved.